thought I was ready to talk about this, but I guess I'm not quite there yet, but we're going to do it anyway. So how we found out, basically our daughter started limping when she would play. It was like a weekend and she was doing normal 5-year-old things, playing around, and we noticed that she started limping a little bit. Her leg looked fine, no swelling or anything like that quite yet. So we just put a little bit of ice, put an ice pack on it, and just kind of went about the day. During the week, we didn't notice any additional limping or anything like it had gone away, probably because she wasn't as active. But then the next weekend, again, when she was playing, we noticed that the limp came back, and then at that time she did have some swelling around her knee. So we put an ice pack, gave her some Tylenol that night. Saturday was like her daycare's like little kindergarten celebration, and she had a great time with like all her old little friends from daycare. And then on Sunday, it was my husband's and my anniversary. We went to the pool and we were playing and everything was fine, even though she was limping a little bit, but she was still in great spirits and like playing around and everything. And then on Monday, we went to an urgent orthopedic just to get an x-ray. And they were the ones that said the bone looked a little fuzzy and recommended that we go for an MRI. In my mind, I was just like, these people are being so dramatic. They put something on the report, like something about potential sarcoma, and I was so mad. I remember just being like, this is so dramatic. She's 5. She's been playing around. Like, it's just like a little sprain. It'll go away. Nonetheless, she was ordered to be off her foot, so she got crutches that day. That was June 9th, and she's been on crutches ever since and hasn't been able to fully walk again. The MRI was about 10 days later. My husband took her. I just remember feeling uneasy because it was taking so long. He came home and said they found a mass and they recommended that we go to an oncologist. And from then, it was just like, it's been a blur. We kind of went through those steps of like, a formal biopsy, even though we already knew it was osteosarcoma. We were pretty confident that it was, but obviously we went through getting a biopsy and a CT scan to make sure that it was localized to her leg. So right now it's basically right under her knee on the left side. This is a rare bone cancer. I've been digging around here for the last 3 months, and bone cancers in general seem to be a little bit on the rare side. It's definitely really rare for kids her age. She was 5 years old when she was diagnosed. This is typically something that teenagers face more because it happens when there's a rapid growth of the bone. So typically teenagers, when they're having a growth spur, would experience these. It's rare for her to have this. Like, it's not something that's caused by lifestyle. It's not because like my child eats candy or like things like that. Like, it's not due to lifestyle or stress or anything like that. It's a growth spur that went wrong, and we just happen to be on the not so lucky end of not fun diagnosis. So osteosarcoma is actually one of the toughest pediatric cancer because of how intense it is. It's not like cancer that you can go in and get chemo, like outpatient chemo. Every chemo treatment that we receive, we have to be inpatient at the hospital so that she can be monitored because of how intense and how strong the medications are that are given. It's a mixture of different types of chemotherapies that try to keep the cancer guessing with the hope of creating enough death in the cells. When surgery happens, the surgeon is able to remove the full tumor and some surrounding areas to prevent it from potentially attaching to a different part of the body. Our treatment is basically 30 weeks of chemotherapy and then the time in between surgery. So The 30 weeks are broken up into cycles. 3 out of the 5-week cycle, she gets chemotherapy. There is a 2-week recovery period because these drugs are so strong that they drain all of the white blood cells and red blood cells in the body. You need to have some time to recover those so that you can continue with treatment. Surgery piece is also a very tough and very, let's just say, up to basically about a month ago, our only solutions were to completely amputate the leg because of where it was. Typically in children so young, because there's so much growth that still needs to happen, there aren't as many options for, knee replacement type surgeries that would allow her to continue to grow and develop physically. That doesn't require multiple surgeries after that. So in other words, if they were to do a knee replacement when she has another growth spur, they'll have to go in and do another surgery to take it out and replace it with a bigger size, and then so on and so forth until she reaches, whatever growth she's going to have in her life. So up to 15, 16 years, that would be surgery after surgery after surgery. So that's why for kids so young, really the two preferred choices are a rotationplasty or amputation of the leg below the knee. Treatments so far, we've just about completed cycle 2, so about 10 weeks of treatment. Out of these 10 weeks, we've slept at the hospital basically 8 weeks and have been home 2 weeks, and then maybe some weekends sprinkle in between here and there. As the time I'm recording this, my daughter has been in since Tuesday. It is Friday. It's possible that she'll be there until tomorrow, Saturday morning. We're hoping that she can come home tonight, but again, we're not quite sure yet. If you've spent any time at a hospital, you know that you face sleepless nights and a constant worry of what's going to happen. If you are someone who's a light sleeper like me, it's impossible. The lights, the sounds, the alarms, the nurses come in the middle of the night. There's scheduled medications and everything that still has to happen throughout the night. So it's just a constant, stop and go situation. And then during the day, it's even worse.